Game 1 is going to be... Oh, let's go. Game 1 is going to be taking place on Death Aura. Oof. I haven't seen a solid ZvT on this map in a long time. I've seen a lot of ZvPs on this map. Enough to last me a lifetime. It's too much, Pappy. Too much. Oh, but here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura, we have the South Korean Terran player residing in the land of Japan, representing K10 Esports. It is the most honorable of monorables. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the last king of the sea himself, representing Team Gosu and the land of Vietnam. It is MeomaikA. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. The best player in all of Southeast Asia, MeomaikA, the representative for our region, is going up against the Honorable Monorable, a very cheesy Terran player. We got to see HonMonO earlier today going up against MaxPax, and HonMonO went for purely two base all-ins. Two base all-ins against MaxPax. Against Zerg, though, HonMonO does play macro. He does play macro. He can still sometimes mix in some two base all-ins, but for the most part, he does go for longer games. I say two base all-ins. He has A-Raxed. He does A-Rax quite commonly. And he does go into mech as well, so... Oh boy. We'll see how this turns out. We'll see how MeomaikA has also been able to adapt, and if he has a better response and a better answer to the mech of HonMonO, as historically he's had a hard time against that, but that was a long time ago. That was a month ago now. He has had time to reflect, to improve, to analyze, and here we go. So MeomaikA does go for a pull first. Don't be alarmed. Pull first from MeomaikA is pretty standard. It's just to get queens early on, just for some lings as well. If he was against a proxy Rax, he'd be able to shut it down. Very commonly, MeomaikA against Protoss and Terran, he does go pull first. It's not to be aggressive. It can lead to aggression, like if he can mix in like Roach all-ins, but if it's not going to be an all-in, then it's just, you know, to be safe here. And that's what makes MeomaikA unpredictable, is that he can mix in all-ins whenever he can and whenever he wants to. So you do have to keep your eye on him. You do have to prioritize scouting. Likewise, what HonMonO is doing is an adaptation to MeomaikA. So because he knows, as the first Reaper does get across the map and does get a drone kill. Oh my god. Already a nice amount of damage. But because HonMonO knows that MeomaikA goes for a pull first, HonMonO, he like quote unquote like blind counters, and he goes for a CC on the high ground just in case the first two lings go across the map to delay the CC on the low ground. So he blindly goes for it on the high ground, make sure his CC is safe, and then will eventually expand. You can argue that's a little bit inefficient, but I guess if you know that your opponent is going to make lings early on, or has the capacity to make lings early on, then maybe it's worth it. It's just how HonMonO does. Meanwhile, MeomaikA goes for a scout. He confirms that it is going to be a 3cc 2-1-1. Oh my. Interesting. So I was going to say it's going to be a 3cc Banshee opener here from HonMonO, but no, there is a second Rax. So yeah, he has been playing around with this a lot as well. It's really cool to see. As Reaper dips into the main, confirms no additional gases, no Roach Warren. Ooh, but he does miss the Baneling Nest, and that is a very early nest. MeomaikA is setting up for a Bane Bust. And I like this, to be honest. So the problem of a 2-1-1 is that this does kind of delay your factory production. It does delay your tanks as well. You're relying heavily. It does delay your Hellions. Typically it does, but okay. We're actually going to make another set of Hellions here. Interesting. But yeah, with a 3cc 2-1-1, yeah, there we go. We make 4 Hellions, then we go for the add-on swap. We're going to be amassing a mass bio army to go into a medevac drop. But we're not going to have tanks, we're not going to have Winter Mines. So we are vulnerable to a Bane Bust. And MeomaikA was able to confirm everything. He saw everything and is looking to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, the Reaper of HonMonO died before it really saw anything. So yeah, MeomaikA is still going to catch HonMonO with his pants down. He's exposed, Papi. He's exposed. and the game may just end here and now. We have 22 more Lings on the way. The Banelings are rolling on in. The wall is a wall for now, but not for long. As the deeper wall is going to be completely shut down, the Lings do flood in as well. The natural is compromised, but so is the main. The main wall goes down. The Lings do flood in. We do have 4 Hellions, bear that in mind. It's all about the positioning. It's all about the body blocking even. The SCVs are protecting those Hellions. And so far, oh my god, the SCV micro. You haven't lost that much. The worker drilling there from HonMonO, he does lose 7 SCVs in total, but he's still ahead. And the Hellions survived. The Hellions did survive, but MeomaikA's not stopping. MeomaikA, he doesn't know how to stop up. He's still making nothing but Lings, nothing but Banelings. He wants to go for the second wave. Oh, and HonMonO supply blocked. No, he can't make anything. The additional Hellions were a little bit too late. He was supply blocked. Only 2 Hellions are left, and the Banelings are getting into the mineral line. Oof. And with that, everything is going down. The Hellions are doing what they can. But the Lings, they keep on flooding in. The wall is still not a wall. It looks like HonMonO will hold on to his 1 base. He does have 3 CCs, but he's down to 17 workers. Unfortunately, there is no game heart. So we do have to count. But I think we can all count the fact that HonMonO, he's dying, Buffy. As the Lings do overwhelm. Initially, the hold was good. Initially, I was really impressed with how HonMonO was able to hold on, but he was supply blocked. He lost too many of his depots. And MeomaikA is able to overcome, take control of the main. Now HonMonO is left with only a handful of units. Good SimCity here, to be fair. He can protect his production, but he has 0 workers. GG. GG gets called, and MeomaikA will take game number 1. Just scouting the 3cc 2-1-1 and abusing it quite hard. But a shout out to HonMonO, because initially, like, his defense, again, it was looking pretty damn good. I was very impressed with his body blocking, with his SCVs, with his Hellion positioning as well. He was making the best out of a bad situation. Maybe he just wasn't expecting the second wave. He wasn't expecting MeomaikA to just keep on pushing and keep on going. Likewise, it was unfortunate that HonMonO also got supply blocked, so he just couldn't make any more units either. Like, more Hellions would have made a world of difference. As we're getting into game number 2. Oh, let's go. I hope no BC. Yeah. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Terran player representing K10 Esports and also hailing from the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the last King of the Sea from the land of Vietnam representing Team Gosu. It is MeomaikA. Let's go. Is the cast from replays? Yes, all of the broadcasts of OSC of the mid-season playoffs, they are from replays. Basically, all the matches that we casted today were played throughout the week. Eddie, the admin, did collect all those replays, and now we are broadcasting them all here for you today. I believe that is how they do the, that's how we're going to be doing things, at least until the finals of the OSC mid-season playoffs. I believe the finals, or at least like the top 4, around that is going to be played live. From my understanding. Oh. But yes, all these matches have been played throughout the past 7 days. As we are getting this underway, and we do see once again MeomaikA going for the pool first opener. Going to be pool, hatch, gas, just like last time. Again, this doesn't mean it's going to be aggressive. It's just his opener, so he can shut down any kind of cheese and be aggressive if he wants to be. Hashtag MeomaikA things. And speaking of, there it is. And I think this is really smart. Game 1, it was a pull first just to make queens. He didn't even make any lings initially, if you remember. Here in Game 2, MeomaikA commits and throws down a Roach Warren. This is why scouting against MeomaikA is oh so important. Reaper is on the way, and the job of this Reaper is to get an eye on that tech, get an eye on what MeomaikA is up to. Unfortunately, HonMonO is not going for an SCV scout, so he will not be able to get a heads up of what's going on until the Reaper comes out across the map. Meanwhile, as the Reaper moves out, the Lings are moving on in. But the CC's on the high ground, so these Lings shouldn't force this Reaper back home. We should have a full wall off here. We have at least a Marine. Reaper confirms the late hatchery and... oh! Should see the Roach Warren? Maybe? Sees the roaches. Does confirm the roaches at least. Lings across the map getting a little bit out of hands as they get one SCV and one Marine. But now HonMonO knows exactly what's going on. He's throwing down a bunker in his main base. He's getting ready for this. Now what's important is that MeomaikA, because he got scouted, he only makes 3 roaches. He's droning. If he didn't get scouted, MeomaikA typically would commit and make more army, more Lings, more roaches. But because HonMonO knows what's going on, MeomaikA is just gonna he's just gonna back off and drone. I'm drinking water, Papi. I'm drinking water. As MeomaikA doesn't even commit, I kind of love this. He just turns back around. He recognizes the defensive position of his opponent. He knows that the CC's on the high ground and the roaches, they just come back home. So MeomaikA gets deflected in a way, and we have a longer game. We're going to be continuing from here. Beautiful. From here, of course, HonMonO is going to be going into his 3cc. It did actually go 1-1-1 to begin with. It did delay his third CC. So HonMonO is going to be a little bit more aggressive. He actually prioritizes 2 Cyclones first, so he's a little bit paranoid that MeomaikA is going to hit with roaches. If he did, there'd be plenty here to defend. And thankfully, I guess, for HonMonO, MeomaikA has cut workers. We have Ling speed on the way. We have a mass amount of Lings amassing here for MeomaikA, sending everything across the map with those 3 Ravagers from the early game. And if HonMonO isn't too careful, he could be in a lot of trouble. We do have a Banshee on the horizon. No Hellions, unfortunately, as we're getting into... oh, Hyperflight Rotors. We're getting into Banshee speed. Boy, HonMonO, he is going to lose those depots. The Hellions, no! They go down to the low ground. They do get picked off. The Banshee is going to target down these Ravagers as best they can. Oof. And it looks like with the power of these Cyclones, that this army is going to get cleaned up, but a lot of damage is being dealt. And I'm afraid to look as 14 SCVs. Oh, 14 SCVs have gone down. Thankfully, HonMonO does have 3 CCs, 3 orbitals, so he can make 3 workers at a time as he throws down a couple of mules with the Lings. They come back in. They're going for the workers. They do get a couple more. 16 workers in total. HonMonO hurting here economically. Is going to go for a counterattack. Has to do some counter damage. He can't let MeomaikA get away with this. As Meo is going to be droning up back home. And the lock-ons are pretty good. Both these queens are going to fall, so HonMonO is doing quite a lot with this push. He can even maybe get a kill on this hatchery, but we have 22 Lings on the way. And we did lose our Hellions earlier. There we go. The Lings are arriving. The queens are coming in to reinforce. HonMonO has to be careful not to get surrounded. As he goes for another scan, does get another lock-on, gets another queen. Up. Lings, though, are going to be able to shut this down eventually. The Cyclone falls. The second Cyclone as well. But MeomaikA did sustain a lot of losses. This was some pretty necessary damage that HonMonO had to do. He's caught up in the worker count, and he is going into mech. Because of course he is. He's going to be continuing Banshee production as Banshee speed does kick in. No cloak, just speed. Banshees are diving into the main. Can one-shot workers. Oh god! Ooh. But HonMonO does fly too close to the sun. He will lose one Banshee. He won't be able to snowball. And things are going to be settling down from here. MeomaikA is going for double Evo chambers. He's going to be going for 1-1. So he's going to be looking to hit a 1-1 roach timing, potentially a 2-2 timing after this as well, if he doesn't quite hit it. But until that time, we're just going to be chilling. MeomaikA is just focusing on droning. HonMonO, the onus is kind of on him to keep the pressure up. Like, he's got a lot of Hellions and a lot of Banshees as well, but he hasn't really been able to find too much. He could try and cancel this fourth base if he checks its location, and he is headed in that direction, to be fair. Oh, no, never mind. It looks like he's a little bit paranoid about a counterattack, so he's more concerned with defending back at home, at least with his Hellions. Now the Banshees do move out. And MeomaikA, he's going to be going into Hydra, so Roach Hydra will be the composition of choice here for Meo. Interesting choice. As the Banshees do go for the counterattack, they catch 4 transferring workers. Hatchery itself is going to be going down as well. Oh god! Did I say 4? I meant to say 5. 5 drones do go down. Oh my god, and Meo, he knows that he can't hold on to his 4th base. He taps out, GG gets called, and HonMonO fights back, puts a point on the board. GG. Again, MeomaikA was pretty committed with his initial, basically all in with his Lings and Ravagers. I was supposed to do more critical damage. It's unfortunate that his opponent was going to mass Banshee behind that, because we've seen this situation before. I don't know if you've seen us cast ZvP, where a Protoss barely survives like an all-in, and they have like 2 Void Rays to their names. And the 2 Void Rays, they go across the map and they win the game. Because like there aren't that many queens, there's no spores either, like kind of situation. It does happen. It does happen. GG, well played. We have a series. We're going all the way into game number 3. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade, one of the older maps in the map pool, we have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, tying up the series and putting a point on the board. Oh, things are about to pop off. Representing K10 Esports, it is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent going for the 12 pool. Representing Team Gosu and the land of Vietnam, it is MeomaikA. Oh boy. Let me just quickly fix this up as well. Select the color. Beautiful. Okay, so you don't really see 12 pools too often in this matchup. Oh my god. It isn't just a 12 pool. He's going into a gas behind it as well. This is very all in. This is very committed, at least. My god. Okay, so with this, we're going to be making a wave of 6 Lings. And I think we're only going to make 6 Lings with this. We'll see if we go up to 10. But the Lings are going to be harassing across the map. They're going to be keeping HonMonO back at home and keeping his attention across the map. Meanwhile, the follow-up will be Roaches. The last thing you expect off of a 12 pool. As a Roach Warren is on the way. And again, this is the kind of build that can work really well on Lightshade, because the rush distance by ground is actually really short on this map. Doesn't take too long at all to be aggressive as the Lings are making their way. Again, only 6 Lings here for MeomaikA. They are looking to get in, but the wall is a wall. Again, HonMonO against Meo does blindly go for the CC on the high ground. The Lings have arrived. The Reaper will be coming out and should be able to fend this off for the time being. Will we get one SCV kill? Oh, can we get the Deeper? We get a second SCV even. Oh, and the repairs should be good enough. The Lings are forced back. But again, this just has to distract HonMonO. Just has to keep him at home. Behind this, here come the Roaches. Roaches are on the way. Love the Ling trying to distract. The Reaper will not miss the Roaches, as they do get spotted. And what do we have at home to defend? We're actually moving the production around, so we only have a single Marine. Uh-oh. And Mia's droning. Oh my god, okay. MeomaikA is going to be droning up behind this. Ooh, may lose an Overlord, actually. He has to be very careful with that. The Roaches have arrived. The Ravagers as well. We really don't have a lot to defend. We have one Marine and one Reaper. Ay, ay, ay. Just because of all the chaos that was ensuing, like even the factory was delayed. Okay, workers are going down. A Depot is gonna fall. The SCV pool is not fast enough. Up, where is it? Up, up, up. Show me the biles. Well, the biles actually don't connect with the Deepers, so HonMonO, he's gonna be able to buy some time. He gets another Marine. And with this, he should be able to protect his main base. He's gonna be losing some of these depots, unfortunately, but HonMonO does survive. Behind this, we're getting into Magfield. We're getting into Cyclones. I imagine it's a mech after this as well. And yeah, Meo, he's got a lot of catching up to do, to be honest. Even though MeomaikA has a higher drone count right now, I mean, HonMonO has double orbital. He's got mules. HonMonO is in a better economic position. It's one of those things where if HonMonO did have the CC on the low ground, then a 12 pool works so much better. But because HonMonO does like go for the high ground expansions, like he's pretty safe like early on. From here, he's getting into his tank, getting into a starport as well. And yeah, we'll see what MeomaikA goes to from here. As we have a third base being set up. Things are going to be settling down for a little bit. After a pretty chaotic early game, we are going to be calming down. And so, yeah, we'll see where this all goes. Are we going to go for speed Banshees again? I'm curious. I'm curious if we prioritize Hyperflight Rotors over Cloak instead. There's the Banshee, this time with Cloak. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Is gonna be with Cloak. Meanwhile, MeomaikA is taking 2 more gases and he's going for a lair. So, I think a normal Zerg player, I would assume that MeomaikA is setting up for Mutas. I think Mutas would be a wise choice. But, because it's Meo, this could be for Hydras. Could be for Hydra Tech. It's gonna be one or the other. We'll see which it is. I feel like especially against mech, we want to be going into mutas, but MeomaikA doesn't have full scouting information. He can metagame a little bit and know that HonMonO is fond of mech, but he hasn't like really caught wind of it yet. In-game, I mean. As the lair is just about to finish up, and our tech of choice is going to be that Hydra Den. Of course it is. It's MeomaikA. It's going to be Hydras. Oh boy. Ling Hydra against mech. Can work. Can work especially against battle mech. Specifically battle mech. Like Ling Hydra is not a bad composition. Against a more turtley style of mech, Ling Hydra, it's okay. It can do okay. Specifically Ling Hydra Viper. Like, the Vipers are what kind of change things and change the dynamic. With Blinding Clouds, with Abducts. So we have Hydra Speed on the way. Meanwhile, HonMonO is going to be taking his third base. His third base is quite open here at the triangular base location. Can be attacked from multiple angles. And speaking of Vipers, MeomaikA is rushing into the Infestation Pit, so he can go into a fast hive, he can go into Viper Tech. I'm curious if that's the plan, or if he has something, or if this is just for like adrenal glands, for like lings, for his lings. We'll see. We shall see. As HonMonO is going to be rotating over towards the northern side of the map. He's got a cloak on his Banshees. He's got a decent amount of army as well. Doesn't have blue flame, and has to be careful not to get surrounded. Oh, the Lings do catch two of those Hellions. Good moves out of MeomaikA. Meanwhile, HonMonO rotates around. With the lock on, he should be able to force a cancel on this hatchery. Oh, but he doesn't lock on the base itself. Oh. And Meo is going to be able to hold on to that hatchery. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Pretty nice moves overall. Behind this, there is that hive that we were talking about. That we were expecting. So with this hive tech, he can go into Vipers. And with Vipers, he can have an easier time breaking these entrenched positions. Abducting tanks, blinding clouding tank, using blinding cloud as well. Whatever he so chooses. So Lings are going to go for a bit of a counterattack as well, but they don't find too much damage. HonMonO is in position. He's now working on tanks. So it looks like HonMonO is content with the army that he has, as in like with his mobile army, with his Cyclone count. And now he's just going into pure tank production just to turtle up. Just to fortify himself. He's squeezing in a couple of extra Banshees, which I would like more if we did have Banshee speed. Without it, we'll see. As HonMonO is going to be moving out. Again, just pumping out tanks behind this. Getting map control. MeomaikA now has finished up that hive. And do we have any Vipers? We have one on the way. There we go, 2 Vipers in production. Once we do have them, then MeomaikA can look to try and lay siege upon these bases. Without them, it's going to be a tough ask, so does have to wait for that to occur. Before that happens, HonMonO wants to be a little bit active here. MeomaikA is already in position, doesn't have a lot of creep. I mean, he's not known for his creep. Like, no, we don't need no creep where we're going. As the Overseer is going to get sniped. With the death of that Overseer, the Banshees, they can have some free reign on the army. I'm going to go for it though. We'll back off. And there we go. Now that we have hit, okay, 6 tanks. Not too many, to be fair. We're going back into Cyclone production. Back into something more mobile. Speaking of, there we go. Banshee speed is on the way alongside Blue Flame. HonMonO going to be rotating over towards the southern portion of the map where there is one tumor. One creep tumor has been making its way all the way to the center of the map, and it's going to get cleaned up. No! The tumor that was. It's the only creep that MeomaikA has been spreading, and now he's going for a full surround. The Lings, they do catch the army, the Hydras as well. Oh, and there is nothing left. MeomaikA was waiting for HonMonO to make the first move. And now MeomaikA has so much momentum, he maxes out on Ling Hydra. HonMonO back at home. He does have a decent amount of tanks, but that's what the Vipers are for. Blinding Clouds are thrown down one after the other. Now MeomaikA is looking to collapse on this army. The 4th CC goes down. Another Blinding Cloud. And there's nothing left. There's just nothing left here. We have a couple of tanks here to protect the natural base, sure, but the 3rd base is completely forfeit. As the Lings are flooding on in. And the base itself will fall to the Hydras. I mean, these bases are doing what they can. There is no detection, but this is still game-ending damage. 31 SCVs. That's a lot of SCVs, Papi. Now, MeomaikA did throw away a pretty large army, don't get us wrong, but he has an economy to sustain it. He can rebuild, he can remax. HonMonO, not so much. HonMonO is broke. He's stuck on not even a 2-base economy, barely a 1-base economy, as he has 2 mineral patches left in the main base. Barely anything left to work with. He's all in, he unsieges all of his tanks, he's sending everything across the map. Now, to be fair, MeomaikA has no Vipers left. And we got a lot of tanks. This is still a threatening force here from HonMonO. If you look at the army suppliers, they're neck and neck, which means that the Terran army just has a more efficient army. It's stronger, it's larger. Oh boy. So now MeomaikA is in a little bit of trouble. This is the scariest moment of the game. MeomaikA, all he has to do is survive. Here we go, he rolls on in, he gets on top of one of the tanks. He's going to be able to get on top of the second tank as well. And the third. He does lose all of his lings, but he can back off, rebuild the lings that he's lost, and go in again. Time is on MeomaikA's side. Just has to be careful not to overextend. Another hatchery on the way. Oof. As the Overseer goes down, and that was the only form of detection. The Banshees, they go ham. Uh-oh. A lot of Hydras are getting picked off. These are expensive losses for Meo. Like, he still has a strong army, he still has a strong economy, but HonMonO, he's making the best out of a bad situation. So we have a massive link counterattack. HonMonO races back home with a portion of his forces. The northern base is going to go down. But again, we can afford to lose a base. It's okay, we're taking bottom left. We can even afford to lose this southern base, this triangular third as well. Here we go, he goes for the scan, gets a lock on as well. MeomaikA, he wants to try to fight for this, but he has to be careful not to overextend. As the hatchery will go down. He does have to respect this tank line. Look at how many tanks we have. And turrets as well. Like, HonMonO, he's basically 2-base all in. But he's making it work. He's slowly pushing him forward. Do we have any Vipers? No. That's the problem. MeomaikA hasn't rebuilt his Vipers. If he did, like, he can deal with this. He can deal with this army. Without Vipers, not really an option. It's going to be much harder, I should say. I see HonMonO going to be backing off, rotating around. I don't like that he's running back home. I don't know if that's necessary, but okay. I do think that we can just rotate over towards the southern bases and lay siege upon them instead. But HonMonO is not feeling too confident. He backs off, takes his third. And he is giving MeomaikA time to max out, which he has. 124 lings. 124 lings, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. A lot of lings. And 33 Hydras. And moving on out. The army is scanned. Now, if HonMonO bunches up, it doesn't matter too much because, again, there are no Vipers. He's not going to get punished for it. There we go. We do go for the Siegeling Hydra trying to collapse on these forces. We have Hellbats to tank, and we have plenty of tanks as well. The over 100 lings that we were talking about, they all go down. Only Hydras remain. Jeez, how many lings have died? Almost 300 lings have died this game. Almost 300. Ay, ay, ay. Can we get there? Can we get to 300 lings? As again, MeomaikA, he's being a little bit stubborn. he hasn't rebuilt his Vipers. Still, after that fight, he still is only working with Ling Hydra, no spellcasters whatsoever. Because of that, HonMonO has a chance. Like, he's still down in supply. Don't get me wrong. HonMonO is still down in supply, but he's working for it. Still trading efficiently. So here we go. The tanks do siege once again. Looks like MeomaikA is setting up a surround. HonMonO senses that something is wrong. He will back off. Not liking that position, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's going to take a more secure position here at his planetary. MeomaikA once again setting up towards the middle and the left-hand side. And here we go. He's coming in once again. The 4 tanks are exposed. They're all going to be going down. The Hellbats were a little bit too late to reinforce. And with this concave, MeomaikA takes a pretty good fight. It takes down like, what, 6 tanks? Only 6 tanks left. Ah, let's go. Vipers are on the way. They're here, Papi. They're here. They're coming. 3 Vipers are in production. This changes everything. I was really concerned that MeomaikA was just gonna like smash his face into a brick wall a couple too many times and he would like lose the game, but it's okay. We got some Vipers. We have very limited anti-air. We got like 1 Thor. MeomaikA, he has the tools. He has what he needs to break this. Let's go. It's gonna take a while. The Vipers, they're gonna slowly gather energy across the map, but once they're topped up, can pull this off. Beautiful. Oof. Aye. As HonMonO is still just trying to rebuild what he's lost, you know, tanks in production. Unfortunately, it's just the problem for HonMonO is that he has no money. Literally nothing in the main. He's got 2 patches in the natural, and he has 1 mining base that isn't even a full base either. So even though HonMonO is given time, it doesn't matter too much because he can't do anything with it. He doesn't have the economy to max out right now. He needs another base. If he can somehow get bottom left uninterrupted for like 2 minutes, then maybe HonMonO can remax, but unless this happens, then yeah, like HonMonO is not going to be able to amass a large enough army to really contend against MeomaikA anytime soon. Here we go. Bottom left is being taken. MeomaikA does have eyes on this. He is rotating around. His Vipers are ready. He has Hydras towards the north, Hydras towards the south. Another surround is being set up. We're just kind of waiting for that moment. MeomaikA not diving in yet. He's just going to dance with the army for the time being. Does yoink the Thor. Let's go. Minimizing that splash damage, and meanwhile at the same time the Hydras, they come in from behind. There are no tanks covering the main base, so the Hydras are actually going to be able to waddle in. Oh my god. They do sneak their way into the main. The tank goes down. We're on top of the production. No detection, so the Banshees will clean this up. But Mio was able to take down quite a number of tanks in the process. I was looking to remax. How many units? Yeah, almost 400 lings. 378 lings have died this game. Aye. Ugh. And here we go. We have the Vipers. We have the Blinding Clouds. Yeah, and there's no way for HonMonO to hold onto this fresh mining base. He's trying to reinforce, he's trying to hold on, but the planetary will go down. And we can see HonMonO's supply just plummet. He has nothing left. The Banshee's doing what they can, you know, picking up some Hydras, but we're down to 15 SCVs. GG gets called. And MeomaikA will take a lead in this series 2-1. GG. The poor Zerg. Too many Zerglings died in the making of that game. 400 lings. Meo. Why don't you like Vipers, Papi? I mean, he got them in the end. GG. GG, well played. Ugh. And here we go. Meo, he's one game away from taking it all. Vámonos, Papi, vámonos. Hello, already. Hello. What year is it? Lightshade? Oh. Where have I woken up? What's going on? Death Aura, Lightshade. Some of my recent favorites. Oh, nice. Yeah. I appreciated Death Aura. I think I vetoed Death Aura. I'm pretty sure as a Zerg player I had Death Aura vetoed. But I liked casting on it. I did appreciate casting on it. Back in the day. Oh. There we go. Just catching up. Don't know these players, but I do know that this is really entertaining. Well, I hope you get introduced to these players. I hope you know them now, because in the top left-hand corner, we have the man of the hour. We have the most honorable of all honorables. We have the South Korean Terran player representing K10 esports and residing in the land of Japan. I don't want to get banned. Some may know him as Hung, but he is HonMonO. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have... Oh, as I should probably fix this up. There we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Vietnamese Zerg player representing Team Gosu, going for a 12 full. Once again, it is MeomaikA. Let's go. First game was a Bane Bust? Yes. Game 1 was a Bane Bust from MeomaikA. It was on Death Aura. It was when HonMonO went for a 3cc 2-on-1. MeomaikA saw it and then did Bane Bust him. Good memory. But here we go. Now we have a 12 full. 6 slings are on the way. The last time we saw a 12 full, we saw a fast gas, and we had a Roach Warren as well to go into a Roach follow-up. But this time, looks like that is not going to be the case here from MeomaikA. As the Lings are racing across the map. Meanwhile, HonMonO doing HonMonO things. He should be throwing down his CC on the high ground. Oh. Yeah. As the Lings are making their way across the map. Now, unfortunately for HonMonO, he doesn't go for an SCV scout, so he doesn't know that he has to keep his Reaper back at home. He doesn't have the foresight that Lings are on their way across the map. But again, once again, as we've talked about earlier, HonMonO against MeomaikA does go for the CC on the high ground just because of MeomaikA's proclivity of going for early pools like this. Reaper does come out in time, but the Lings are going to be diving on top of these SCVs, and they're going to be able to get at least one of them. Up. Can he get the second as the Lings are they're pulled into the mineral line? Second SCV goes down. And we do delay the CC at least a little bit. Okay, looking at the trades. Oh, actually 3. I thought it was 2 SCVs, but 3 SCVs went down for 5 Lings. We also delay some of the production. We delayed the depot. We delayed the command center. We got some value, don't get me wrong. But I don't really know if that's really worth a 12 pool. Like, MeomaikA has got a lot of catching up to do. He's expanding. He's droning as we speak. He is looking to recover from here. Oh, we barely save that SCV. And we do have HonMonO going for a 3cc opener. We have the 3rd command center on the way. So it is going to be quite economic from our Terran player. And he's going to be rolling the dice well. Like, HonMonO, he wasn't able to rescout until now. The Reaper just now saw the main base. And upon seeing that, he's like, okay, there's no Roach Warren, there's no Baneley Nest. I can get away with this. And he's going for a 3cc 2-on-1. We're getting a repeat of Death Aura. This is the exact same build he did in game number 1 of this series. Going to be going into bioplay. The difference is that MeomaikA hasn't scattered this yet. He does have an overlord at the natural and at the main base, waiting to dive in. I wonder if he does see this, if he tries to go for a Bane Bust for a second time. As for now, Mio's just focusing on droning, getting his Link speed on the way as well. He's not pulling out of gas, but that's because of the 12 pull. He has to catch up in that gas income. And we've hit the 4-minute mark, and Mio hasn't gone into the main base yet. Interesting. He's avoiding the scout for the time being. Oh, there we go. Actually going in with a different overlord. Interesting choice, but at least we're going for a scout nonetheless. So MeomaikA will catch wind of what has been going on. Meanwhile, this Reaper is being so annoying, and we are going to be able to get a drone. I believe that may even be the second drone that this Reaper has killed as well, so not too bad here from HonMonO. Behind this, MeomaikA working towards his lair. This was a 4-minute 30 lair timing around that, so not too early, not too crazy. As the Overlord dives in, and MeomaikA was able to confirm the production. But at this point, it is too late to throw down a Baneling Nest to commit to a Bane Bust. We've already got double Evo Chambers on the way. And we're going to be getting into 1-1. Now, I'm pretty excited because this looks like... Yo, let's go. Yep, this looks like the MeomaikA special of going for +1 melee and +1 carapace to go into fast, maybe 2-2. I say maybe because he does throw down that Hydra, so this may just be Ling Hydra straight up instead. But this is old school MeomaikA. So for a very long time, MeomaikA was very fond of the Ling Hydra composition, as we saw against Mech, but also against Bio. And I say Ling Hydra because he specifically would avoid the Baneling Nest. Doesn't get Banelings, doesn't get Baneling speed. In recent years, he has been incorporating Banelings a little bit more. It's been really cool to see MeomaikA grow over time. But Ling Hydra, like, this is his, like, safe place. Like, this is his comfort zone. This is where he wants to be in ZvT. He likes it, Bobby. He likes it. Against Protoss as well, to be fair. Like, I think Hydra is probably his favorite unit. I mean, it shoots up and it shoots down. It's crazy. Meanwhile, let's go. Baneling Nest is thrown down, and this is what I was talking about. Like, initially, I want to say, when I say initially, I mean like 2018, 2019, 2017 as well. It would just be pure Ling Hydra, but ever since 2020, I would say, ever since he became the king of the sea, he's learned how to make Banelings. It's great. He's learned how to spread creep as well. Let's go. Oh. New and improved. As HonMonO does push forward, does threaten, but doesn't really commit to any kind of hellbat push. Just going to be cleaning up some of this creep, splitting off his units, going for the double drop. This is, of course, the 2-on-1 timing at this point. Stim is done, and the Hellions are looking to harass here and clean up whatever tumors they can. Which is pretty important, I feel. Just because MeomaikA, he doesn't spread a lot of creep, so any tumor that you can get is a tumor that's not going to be rebuilt. As more tumors are going to be going down, the Marines, they do head on towards that third base. Queen will get picked off. MeomaikA has just been having a hard time keeping up with the multi-pronged aggression. 1-1 does kick in. We should be working towards 2-2 momentarily. Back at home, HonMonO is playing Bio. But even though we've been seeing a lot of mech from him recently, that doesn't mean that he can't play Bio. He has it within him. He's crazy. As MeomaikA, for the time being, is just trying to saturate his bases. Even though he's been losing tumors and he has been losing queens, he hasn't been losing workers, at least. He has been able to preserve his overall worker count, his drone count. That he can still commit to maxing out here. 2-2 on the horizon. As we get into Game 4, massive shout out to Night Phoenix in the chat. Quack. Thank you so much for the raid, Night Phoenix. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. If you don't know who Night Phoenix is, he is a Ukrainian Protoss player who I believe is in this tournament as well. We weren't able to cast him today, but I believe he is in it. Great player, great guy. Oh. Do cast him quite often here on this channel. As the double drop is zooming past the Hydra, slipping in towards... Oh, I was going to say the main, but no, he's going to try and deny the 5th. No stim. Oh, God, Jesus. As the medevac almost gets sniped, we have another double drop here towards the north. Oof. Just again, getting queens wherever he can. He's going to lose a couple of Marines in the process. But for the most part, HonMonO does have map control. MeomaikA, his creep is barely connecting his bases. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but if you do get whatever active tumors there are, unlikely for MeomaikA to respread that creep. He's, you know, queens are only for injecting in the mind of MeomaikA. And hey, I mean, he wins games, so I mean, what? Who am I to say otherwise? So we have more Link Bane on the way. Do we have an infestation pit? We do not. So no infestation pit, which means no hive tech, which means no 3-3 either, which may be an oversight for MeomaikA. I'm not sure because he is maxed out. He has an insane army, Ling Bane Hydra, off of a 71 drone count, so he has a larger army than normal. But he's just gonna be rushing across the map. The tanks, they do end up sieging, but the Banelings are getting on top of them. Oh, HonMonO caught in the middle of his move out. Does lose the majority of his army. Gets knocked down to only one tank. Now he has to back off. MeomaikA, he rotates back around. He still has the momentum. He still has plenty of Banelings remaining. And he's going for the planetary. I love this. The Ling Hydra for the planetary. The Banelings to zone away the bio army. The base does go down. Thankfully, HonMonO does have another base that he can just rotate towards. He can re-rally his workers over there. But after losing all those tanks, again, HonMonO, he has to back off. He has to take a more defensive position. MeomaikA looking to dive in again. Oh god, the tanks! Ah! Oh god, that's a kill, not a cancel on the CC. The tanks are exposed and they're going to go down one after the other. HonMonO was in the middle of a double drop or a triple drop. And he gets punished for it. The Bailey's even crash into the edgy bays. There will not be a 3-3. Would you have that? It was actually a quadruple drop. Jesus. Would you have the medevacs going across the map? And I don't know if there's much at home to defend, to be fair. MeomaikA will eventually lose this army. And across the map, these Marines, there are no Bailey's. GG gets called. The Hail Mary play, the mass Marine across the map. There is nothing at home to defend. No Banelings, no Hydras. HonMonO ties it up 2-2. GG. GG, well played. MeomaikA was so committed with his push, and yeah, that was a lot of Marines across the map. A lot of Marines, Papi, a lot of Marines. We're actually going all the way to the ace match. All the way. I didn't think we would, but we're going all the way to game 5. Oh boy. One final game to end it all. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. A regular pool looks greenish in the middle. True, true. As pools do. But yes, it was a 12 pool. As we are getting into the final game of the night, the final game of this series, final game of the broadcast. Let's go, Papi, because spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha. Oh my god, the Zerg map. for the first time tonight, we're here on Jagannatha, representing K10 Esports from the land of Japan, the most honorable of honorables. Solid fan favorite on the channel. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, another favorite of the channel, we have the last king of the sea, the best player in all of Southeast Asia, representing Team Gosu and hailing from the land of Vietnam. It is MeomaikA. Going for a pool first. A standard, quote-unquote standard pool first timing here from MeomaikA. No 12 pool, no 14 or 13 or anything like that. Just going for a pool gas hatch opener. Oh, and we're finally here on Jagannatha. This is the third map that it has been voted in and included into this tournament, into the OSC extended map pool. And it's beautiful, it's green. There are speed zones, big speed zones in the middle of the map, which can favor any kind of aggressing player. Ling Bane in speed zones or even disruptors in speed zones are absolutely terrifying. But what's really important about this map is we have lily pads. Whack. Whack. So obviously ducks feel at home here, obviously. But yeah, it's been quite some time since we've casted this map. Was active back in the day, back in 2021, a couple of years ago. It's been a while. And this was kind of known as the more Zerg favorite map just because of how open it is in the middle of the map. Like, sure, there are a couple of ramps here and there, and there is terrain that you can make use of, but once these rocks get knocked down on the edges of the map, like this just becomes so open. And likewise, there are quite a lot of attack paths as well, so yeah, it does make sense for MeomaikA, or for this map to make it through the veto process, at least in favor of Meo. It's also why when we have OSC King of the Hill, we see this map a lot whenever we have a Zerg challenger, like players like Demi or Wayne or young Yakov or Iba. Like, they do favor and pick Jagannatha over any other map unless it gets vetoed in OSC King of the Hill. This is the Zerg go-to. Meanwhile, back at home, once again a 3cc opener here from HonMonO. Very economic. And MeomaikA, despite the fact that he did go for a pool first opener, he only made queens. He didn't make a single ling this game. Oof. Just chase back that Reaper. But again, this is what he does. Like, he only goes for a pool first just for safety, just to make sure that no proxies catch him off guard. Just gets into queen production and just drones up from here. It is a little bit inefficient compared to a hatch first, especially if we're just droning and just making queens. But it's just his way of being safe. Meanwhile, speaking of being safe, I throw that out the window. Because he had a safe opener into an all-in. That is a very fast lair. What was that, a 3-minute 30 lair? This is feeling like a Hydra rush. Now, I say Hydras because we're taking 2 gases. 2 gases, no Roach Warren. I don't believe this is for a Nidus. We don't need this much gas if it's for Nidus. So I feel like this is for Hydras, but we'll see, we'll see. As HonMonO is forced back, he did get eyes on the would-be third base. You can see it mining. If it was any other Zerg player, I would say Mutas, but it's MeomaikA, so I'd stick with Hydras. Reaper dips into the main base, does get eyes on the lair as it finishes up very quickly. And now we can see the tech of choice. Oh. And MeomaikA's playing with his reputation. It's not the Hydra Den, it is the Spire. He's playing like a normal Zerg player. He's crazy. Oh my god. So this is going to be a very fast Spire here coming out from MeomaikA. And HonMonO has a piece of the puzzle. HonMonO, he saw the lair, which is odd, sure, but because it's MeomaikA, I wouldn't be surprised if he made the same deduction that I did and say like, oh, it's probably Hydras. So there's no kind of major response here other than making sure he gets tanks out and has a robust ground army. So we'll see how this does turn out as we are getting into our multiple racks production. MeomaikA, he finally dips in and he confirms the 3cc opener. It was a 3cc 2-1-1 once again from HonMonO. So he's just going to be waiting for Stim to kick in with those Metarax before he's active on the map. Overlord will go down. Now HonMonO is going to be just flexing his control out here. And this is where I'm a little bit concerned now, because I feel like 2-1-1s typically work really well against Muta play. Because we have so many Marines, we have Stim as well, we don't have any Banelings. And 3cc 2-1-1, this hits a little bit later, sure, it hits a minute later. But likewise, I still feel like there's a lot of potential in this push. Especially with Hellions. Like, a lot of Lings are being shaved off. We have Mutas to defend, but what are Mutas going to do against Stim Marines? We don't have any Banelings. We have very few Queens. We only have 3 Queens between the bases. This is already getting a lot of damage, and we're going to keep on going. Oh boy, the Lings, they come in for a surround, but we can just stand and fight. Mutas get picked off. It looks like this is enough to force this back. We picked off 3 Mutas. 3 Mutas and 4 Overlords. MeomaikA heavily supply blocked. He cleans us up, but this push did a lot of damage. The other added thing is that MeomaikA was forced to show his hand. Oh. Looks like we had a little bit of a pause. But MeomaikA was forced to show his hand. He was forced to reveal his Mutas, which means turrets are already on the way in every single base. And as a result, these Mutas aren't going to find too much damage. Back at home, we're investing. We're getting into +1 air attack. Baneling speed, 1-1 as well. So MeomaikA, he's going to commit to Lingbane Muta, which is a pretty old school composition. It can work quite well, but again, typically I feel like Lingbane Muta relies a lot on the surprise factor and the initial blow that the Mutas do provide. As the Mutas once again dip in, and there is just a solid ring of turrets here in the main and at the 3rd base. 4th CC is on the way. Getting into the rest of our Rax production. And the game will continue. So from here, MeomaikA has just been droning. He's been double expanding as well. His 4th base is really late as well. Just because he invested so much into these Mutas, a lot of other things have fallen by the wayside, unfortunately. But if HonMonO gives MeomaikA time, then he will be able to, you know, get into his 4-base saturation, get his 5th, start working towards Manifestation Bin and Hive Tech. Like, HonMonO himself, like, his macro has been slipping a little bit. I mean, that's why we're seeing, what, 3 Raxes thrown down at once. Like, we had an abundance of resources. We were supply blocked for a while. We're supply blocked again. There's a lot of cooldown depots here, cooldown supply. As HonMonO has been slipping up a little bit here and there. Throws down 6 depots to help deal with that. And here we go. The Marines distract the army on the right-hand side. HonMonO gets ready for a drop on the left. Hasn't gone for anything yet. The Mutas are going to be moving out. And these Marines have just been chilling. Just been chilling. I do think that after the initial Mutas were swatted away, I do think that HonMonO could have taken his 4th base a little bit faster. Regardless, it is on the way here on the right-hand side. Mutas, the Cloud is looking quite powerful. Going to be threatening the production. Does force a stim. And yeah, we're just going to be chilling here. MeomaikA close to maxing out. One oversight for MeomaikA. I don't know if you noticed. 2-2. We never started 2-2 for MeomaikA, which is a little bit concerning. Thankfully, HonMonO also didn't start 2-2. So no one's got 2-2. So I guess it's okay here for Meo as he's coming in with his Ling Bane. This planetary is going to be going down at the same time. A double drop into the main base. It looks like HonMonO was waiting for the push of MeomaikA before he goes in, and he gets the lair. Ay, ay, ay. The backstab is insane. As we do see the Mutas laying siege upon at that CC. Marines are going to try and keep it alive, but we have plenty of Ling Bane on the ground. Up! Oh, massive Bane shots go off. The command center will fall, but a lot of Ling Bane did pay the price for it. Meanwhile, the Marines are still going ham here at the 5th base. This will be cleaned up as the Mutas do turn back around, but MeomaikA's hurting a little bit. We actually can't start +2 melee without the lair, as +2 carapace has commenced. We're rebuilding the main, we're rebuilding the lair as well. MeomaikA sustaining a lot of damage as he moves out across the map. Oh, and it looks like MeomaikA can maybe take the better end of this fight. The tanks are late to siege. HonMonO, he didn't see the army until it was too late. Mine shots are going to be going off. The Marauders soak up a lot of those Banelings. The majority of those Banelings, but we have more where that came from. The speed zones! No! Don't fight with the speed zones, Papi. The Banelings did roll on in, and they do get some decent connections, but there are just too many Marines available. HonMonO is going to keep on pushing. He's getting his 4th base behind this. I would like for him to keep on pushing, but he will back off for the time being. Maybe going to be waiting for a 2-2 timing instead. He tries to get his economy up and running. Again, he's unfortunately oversaturated. Doesn't have the best saturation period, actually. As MeomaikA is looking to bounce in into a minefield. He does have to be careful. Oof. As mine shots do go off. MeomaikA is not going to be able to push on forward. He does have more Banelings all the way behind this, and the mine shots are not ready again. But the planetary finishes. And with that planetary, MeomaikA has to respect it. He has to back off. Lair is now done. There's the infestation pit, which is heavily delayed because of the sniped lair earlier. And thankfully, MeomaikA is going to catch up with 2-2. This has been a really chaotic game. Aye. But the 3-3 timing from HonMonO, if he can get there, is going to be pretty intense. 3-3 is now started up for our Terran player. We finally got our 4th up and running. We have the 5th on the way. Oh, more reinforcements are being called out. Decent mine shots, but on the Lings, not on the Banelings. As the Banelings are rolling into the mineral line, the CC does lift, and wow, the workers actually survive. That was a really cool split. That was actually really sick. The workers did split in time. The Marines cleaned up the Banelings, and now HonMonO has a lot of momentum going his way. MeomaikA, he is down a 50 supply. He threw away a lot in that push. HonMonO, he's just been patient, waiting for his moment. Banelings are rolling on in. Mine shots don't quite go off. And MeomaikA is going to be able to take a pretty good fight. Oh no! No splits towards the end as well. HonMonO slipping up a lot towards the end. His attention was elsewhere. It was on the double drop. So despite having the supply advantage, HonMonO takes a pretty poor fight. But he will get a base. The mutas will reset. There's nothing to stop the medevacs. They go into the main. And it looks like HonMonO, he's going to be able to pull this off. We have some Lingbane coming in from behind, but we can just pick up. We don't have to commit. Pick up. And the medevac drops, they're just getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Remember, this is an elimination match. The loser of this series is gone from the tournament. And HonMonO is just getting out of control. It took a while. Like, MeomaikA did have the map control for the majority of this game. But after a couple too many poor trades, after the mutas are never really paying for themselves, to be honest. Oh my god. Like, the muta opener was never worth it. GG gets called. And HonMonO, he does it. He takes down the King of the Sea. And takes the series 3-2. GG, Papi. That's the wrong button. Hold on. There we go. GG, well played. My condolences to MeomaikA. My condolences as he is eliminated from the tournament. I love him so much. He's a fan favorite. Good friend. And MeomaikA is knocked out of the tournament. Had a good run overall. Took down some big names on his way. Took down Exo Striker. Took down Geomic. But alas, ZvT is his worst matchup. Like, he can go up against the best Protosses out there. You know, he's clowned all over Hearthstone, all over Showtime, like when he does go over to Europe. But Terrans, they're a bit of a different story, and MeomaikA has historically struggled against them. Oh, and HonMonO has been on the rise. HonMonO has been improving quite well. Quite well for himself, and yeah, GG. Congratulations. Congratulations to HonMonO for taking down the King of the Sea and advancing on in the tournament. Not something that a lot of players can say that they've done, you know. MeomaikA, hey, he's even 2-0'd Maro at LAN. Never gonna forget that. GG, well played. So my condolences to MeomaikA, shout out to HonMonO, and that is of course the end of the tournament. That wraps up our broadcast here for today. Not the end of the tournament, just the end of the broadcast. We're nowhere near the end of the tournament. Nowhere near, Bapi, as we do switch our scenes over to catch up on what's been happening in the bracket itself. Now, we did cast earlier today. MaxPax did take down HonMonO on the top of the bracket. He took down Nightmare as well. So, on the next OSC midseason playoffs broadcast, it's going to be MaxPax versus Spirit. That's going to be a good one. MaxPax versus Spirit. That's going to be an insane TVP. I would love to get in on that. That's going to be next time. That's going to be next week. We're also going to be having, as we scroll down a little bit further, Solar versus Geralt. Another ZvP. Korea versus Europe. That'll be next time as well. And scrolling down a little bit further, it'll be Skillus versus Special. We casted Eric earlier. Eric had a close series against Special, but Eric did go down 1-2. It went to the ace match, and Special is going to be facing off against Skillus. So Latin America versus Europe. Again, all those matches will be taking place next week. In the next broadcast of the OSC midseason playoffs. I did see some people asking earlier if these were casted by replays, and the answer is yes, because there are so many matches. There are so many matches played out every week. So over the course of the week, these are collected, these are aggregated, and they are broadcasted, you know, on a particular day, depending on when the caster is available. Whether it's myself, or I know Dave Testa has been casting a lot of this as well, whenever he has the time to. So we have been alternating between ourselves, between the CranKy Ducklings and Dave Testa. 1 week here, 1 week over there, I believe. So yeah, when it comes to the lower bracket, this is where dreams come to die. This is where we have so many players down here duking it out as well. Dark, we did just cast him take down MeomaikA, and next week he's going to be going up against Ashbringer and maybe Art as well. So Dark, he's got a long road ahead of him as he's working his way through the lower bracket. Same with everyone else. Night Phoenix is down here. Shout out to Night Phoenix, he rated us earlier. Night Phoenix is down here. Quanta as well. Wayne, Mana, Cristiano. MeomaikA just got eliminated, as we just did see. Bjorn is down here. Oh, I stay Bjorn. Which is crazy. Bjorn is down here. Trigger as well. For Jumi, Young Yakov, Cyan. So many players, so many players. So yeah, if you enjoyed this broadcast, consider following, and consider not just following the channel, but following the rest of the tournament, because we're still like, what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks off from actually finishing the tournaments. A lot of matches are being played, and the reason why it's cut up in so many weeks is because every series is casted. Usually in a tournament that's not the case, but here we cast every single series, so there's a lot of StarCraft to cover, as you can imagine. Oh, GG. Dimaga's there, person. But yeah, hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Hope everyone had a good time. We had some amazing games, some amazing players as well. We had a lot of fun tonight, a lot of fun. And HonMonO and MeomaikA, they're always a lot of fun to cast. Oh, young Yaku be playing too. Oh, yes. The current Yaku is an old Yaku. True. Kappa. That's gonna be a good game. Spirit's game has improved. It really has. Like, again, I said this before, but I do think that Spirit is contesting Hero Marine for the second best Terran in Europe right now. Like Spirit has been on fire recently, on fire. Oh. ZvT is like a destructive teen drama. It is. I don't play StarCraft, just watch it. I have no clue. Oh, interesting, interesting. Yeah, there are a bunch of different skins available, and some players use them, some players don't. I know that for a lot of official tournaments, like the ESL Masters, they actually turn the skins off, because the skins can sometimes be a little bit distracting and can sometimes like be a little bit difficult to distinguish between what is what. So for balance purposes, they're turned off for broadcasts like that. But for everyone else, they're on. They're on. Beautiful. All right. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to support this tournament series, then consider following OSC over on Twitter. Let me just quickly find you guys. There we go. OSC Esports. They do organize, they sponsor and support a lot of online tournaments. They're partnered with KSL. They're partnered with ourselves for Sparkling Tuna Cup. I believe they're partnered with Chicken Man for the Chicken Man tournaments and the Warty online events as well. It's all supported by OSC. Even OSC King of the Hill, for example. It's in the name. So, yeah, if you're interested in some online StarCraft, they do post whenever their events are being held, whether it's on this channel or on Warty's channel or Steadfast or Dave Test or Chicken Man. OSC, they do partner with a lot of different casters, and they do host a bunch of different events. So, yeah, consider supporting them. I believe there is also... Let me just double check. I believe there is also a way to monetarily support this tournament as well. Let me just double check. I believe there's a My Cause, which is kind of like GoFundMe. So if you want to contribute to the prize pool of this major tournament, then you can do so as well. As we quickly find the link. There we go. Huh. There is a My Cause. Again, it's completely up to you if you want to actually support it. Oh, is the link even working? Oh, uh-oh. Oh, the link isn't working. Oh, never mind. Did I post the wrong link? Maybe. But I believe there is a My Cause out there for the event if you want to support the tournament. If not, follow them on Twitter. At least follow them on Twitter and support them there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching and enjoying the tournament. Our next broadcast is going to be in less than 24 hours. I believe in 23 hours, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to be casting some KFC tomorrow. Yeah, you heard me. Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup is going to be tomorrow, and that is a weekly tournament where we feature players like Cyril, Rainer, Clem going up against the Koreans, going up against players like Dark, Bjorn, Maru, and Hero. It's a weekly tournament that is at a good time for both the Koreans and the Europeans, and because the prize pool is so big for Kung Fu Cup, it's like $1,000 or over $1,000. Because the prize pool is so big, literally everyone shows up, like the best of the best. Cyril, Rainer, Showtime, Max Pax, Clem, Spirit, like you name it, they all show up alongside all the Koreans as well. So it's always a lot of good fun to watch them duke it out in a weekly tournament. It doesn't even happen in the ESL weeklies. In the ESL weeklies, you get a couple of them, but not all of them. Like Cyril doesn't play in ESL EU, but he plays in Kung Fu Cup. So check it out. Definitely worth checking it out tomorrow in 23 hours. Until then, thanks for watching, thanks for the support. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all the social medias. We have a YouTube channel, we have a Patreon. If you want to support the CranKy Ducklings and support the tournaments that we organize, Patreon is the place to do it. And if you want to support myself, I'm light_VIP. I stream over on my own channel whenever I can, and tomorrow I'm going to be playing some Diablo 4. I haven't played Diablo 4 yet, but I am going to be streaming it. So if you're interested, you can follow me there. I'm going to be streaming it with Asher. We'll be playing some Diablo 4 together and experiencing it together as well. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. That should be on my channel. I don't think we're going to do it on this channel because it's not StarCraft related. Like, it is CranKy Duckling related, but it's not StarCraft related. So we'll do it on our personal channels. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. See you guys next time. See you tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Bye.